sister, no. But my sister, right, has knocked out 5 people in her lifetime that I know of, probably more now, and probably don't know about them. But yeah, my sister, she learned how to do it. She had an art of picking the bit on the jawline and just whacking them. They'd go spark out. Yeah. Because my dad was from the East End, and there was 4 girls and then my brother. And my dad sort of like brought us girls up a bit boyish. He taught us how to fight and stuff. But he also taught us not to throw the first punch or anything like that. And if you don't have to, if you don't have to hit, you don't have to, just defend yourself first. But the thing is with me, it's hard because of that way that I was brought up. I have to actually feel pain before I want to hit someone hard. Other than that, the punches I'll just take. I think it's because my size as well. That's why when you see Isabella, I'd already made the statement that I wouldn't hit her anyway. Well, I said I wouldn't hit anybody. I'd let them hit me. But they wouldn't remove me from the park. And that's the statement I made, and that's what I stood by. But when she was fly kicking and whatever, I didn't need to hit her. Because she wasn't landing a punch or anything. Even when she pulled me hair, I didn't feel that at all. If you've ever grown up in an house with a load of sisters, you will know how many fights you have where you're pulling each other's hair out.
Oh God,
but you can fight as well, can't you, Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's had fights. I know she told me she's had fights.
Yeah. Feisty, fiery.
Yeah. But
I have never been in a fight.
You've never? Not once?
Well, okay, with my sisters, obviously, when we're grown up. Like, I used to be able to overpower one sister. And I just kind of like, the way you sit on top of them and you hold down the hands and that you don't let them move. Because she would be trying to pull my hair and do all that sort of stuff. But then I had another sister
none
who
of
was
us
younger.
are as hard as
last week. I'm not even joking. I won just last week.
Obviously, Urban. Can't come around with her weapons.
Someone just what?
I had a fight just last week. I don't make a habit of that, but something happened because it was unavoidable. And I hate those words because I don't like getting into conflict, if I'm honest. But I'm ready. I don't mind it, but I just when the purpose when I don't feel like it's necessary, I'm just like, if you just behaved yourself, do you know what I mean? We wouldn't be in it. We wouldn't be in this mess. That's how I see it. If you only behave yourself. Like, and when I say behave yourself, I mean just don't, like, obviously everyone can throw hands and get angry, but if you can see someone's kind of on it,
but that's the thing, isn't it, Esau? I always grew up to, and again, my dad taught me this: don't ever underestimate anybody. So they might look greedy, but just don't underestimate them because you never know what they're carrying. You never know whether somebody's gonna whether they're, they could be into karate, they could be into fucking tai chi, they could be into anything. Never ever.
This person had started for no reason yet, and I knew to start, and I was kind of ready for it. But I knew they were going to push their luck, and I just went a bit too far. I admit it, but at the same time, I knew they had every opportunity to kind of cut. I don't like getting people in your face, spitting and all that rubbish. It's nasty. Like,
the worst 2 violent incidents I've ever seen in my life were both involving chains, and both of them was during my job. So the first time I was a gate line assistant, and the platform inspector, well, I say inspector, he was just like the platform assistant. Somebody had jumped the gates and he challenged them, and they beat him up bad with a chain. And I come on duty just after, just to see it was ending. The incident was ending, and then the bloke run off. And the second time that I see it was when, well, I say it was a chain. It was either a chain or a brick, because I see him walk past me. So when I was doing parking enforcement, hold on 1 second. I've got to open the door. Hold on.
I'm just looking for Dream the Truth in here.
When I was doing parking enforcement, I used to do on street and off street. That means I used to do the estate. And it was 8 o'clock at night. I had this driver with me that was under my instruction to sort of like remove a vehicle. And I got out the vehicle, took down all the notes, checked the vehicle and everything for it to be removed. And while he was waiting for me to do my all the paperwork and check it and everything else and give authorization, his eye had sort of like caught, it was a cancer state, this workbench that had been put outside the house for rubbish, like a gym bench. And he went and knocked at the person's door. He weren't allowed to do it, right? But he went and knocked at the person's door and said, is it all right if I come back and take that after work? So she sort of like said, yeah, there's no problem. And like he come back and he said, oh, I'm coming back here after work. I'm going to pick that up. Look at it, it's brand new, whatever. So I said, oh whatever. I didn't hear you say that because actually I was his boss, right? Next in line above him. I didn't hear you say that. Do you know what I mean? So he went, oh, I'm just going to go and have a look at it while you finish up your paperwork and that. So he went off to have a look at it. As I was doing that, there was a group of youths, right? I'd say about 18 to 20 approaching us, coming down sort of like beside us. And I sort of saw him coming and I called him by his number. And I was sort of like trying to nod to him to move away, to come back where I was. But I didn't want to make it obvious because then you get yourself into a situation where someone could get offended and you're ending up rowing when you didn't need to row.
Yeah.
And they slowly walked past me and something just told me this is not right. They slowly walked past. And so I readjusted where I was and just went, all right, boys? And they sort of like nodded. And I think that must have thrown them. And then they walked past me down to where he was, which was a few yards away, like in the darker bit where the alley was. And they just smacked him one and run. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so then they run off. I see him hit him. I go running down there to see if he's all right. Oh, his jaw's smashed in. But as they walked past me, I noticed that they had a chain. One had a chain and one had a brick. So even one of them has used it, haven't they? So I get to him, then I see him double back. They say, "Oh look, he's still moving. Let's go and get him again." I had to literally drag him as fast as I could because he couldn't walk with shock. Get him into the truck, shut the fucking windows, and we've got this baying mob around this truck trying to get in. Yeah, it's quite disturbing. But because I said all right to him and smiled, it disarmed them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm. They might have heard your accent as well, like, and kind of knew you were local. You know, that kind of way as well. Whatever. You know. Thankfully.
No,
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what it was because when you go out on the beach, you get used to regular faces and who lives on what estates and where they're from, and these were faces that I didn't recognise. So they were probably people that had come from outside to cause trouble on that particular estate. It was an interesting job, but you did get a lot of violence as well. You did see a lot of violence. So one bloke with a chainsaw.
For a second.
He was cutting off a clamp, and I had to stop him. And he was armed with a chainsaw. You only had verbals to be able to stop him. Yeah, body language. Another one had machetes. This bloke down in Peckham. There was another woman over in Bermondsey. If you removed her car, she'd run out the house naked and lie on top of it. So you used to have to be really quick. You had to be a really quick person. Get down there, do the paperwork and authorise it just like that, like in seconds. So by the time she come out, it was already in the air and she couldn't dive on top of it.
That's why he was attacked. That's why he was attacked. Shit movements like that would definitely get you banged up. I'm sorry.
But do you know what? I've got a weird sense of humour, and I find things comical, don't I? So there's certain things that I did
People losing
find.
their car though.
No, seriously. There was what you used to get a lot of people that would refuse. Like they'd stop the lorry moving, and obviously they'd get their partner or someone to stand in front of the lorry. But the vehicle's already on the back of the lorry, and then you'd see the driver climb on the lorry and get in his car and try and drive it off. And that was the worst thing you could do because you've still got the clamps attached. So as they try to drive off, it ends up either swinging or falling slightly down and damaging their vehicle.
Oh, I've seen it happen.
But you'd have these people and you'd be trying to tell them, listen, don't drive it, you're going to damage your vehicle. They won't listen to you. Sir, you're going to damage your vehicle, honestly. It's much better if you just come down and talk to me. But they and then they go off the edge. And then you have to go, we've got a code red situation. The driver's driving his car off the lorry. Yeah. Every day was different. I used to find it entertaining. Every day was different. And because you wouldn't only see stuff to do with the job either. Because you was out on the beat, you might see somebody come running out of an house being chased down the road by a policeman because they've burgled someone and been caught. Or you'd see filming where they've closed off streets for filming. Yeah, it's a good job. It's underestimated. Everybody says it's not that hard a job either. It's underestimated. Kept you fit and all. Love that job. Yeah. I only gave it up to look after my brother. I went part-time. And then after that, I had the two younger ones.
I'm like a